As golf technology advances, wedges have become more specialised than ever, offering seemingly endless options in loft, grind, bounce and finish. But when it comes to seeing what we can learn from the best players in the PGA Tour, whether they be sponsored or not, it seems there's only one wedge worth looking at. Welcome back to the Golfing Focus channel, everybody, and when it comes to the topic of the most used wedges in the PGA Tour, Titleist dominance is huge. Among the top 100 PGA Tour pros, over 50% of the wedges in play are Titleist Vokey wedges. That's 51% of the 390 wedges used by this elite group of players. No other club manufacturer has come close to such dominance in any other club category. Even when you narrow it down to the specialist wedges, those designed for precision shots around the green, Vokey's grip on the tour remains firm. And of the 332 of these wedges that are specialty wedges, an incredible 57% are Vokey models. They dominate every category: pitching, gap, sand and lob wedges. And the most popular model in the tour today, the Vokey Design SM10. Overall, Golfing Focus uncovered 9 different models of Vokey Design wedges used by the top 100, including older versions like the SM7, to various wedgework models such as the Wedgeworks Proto 10 model used by top players including Rory McIlroy and Robert McIntyre. And while the Vokey Design models are used almost exclusively by players choosing Titleist pitching, gap and sand wedges, the wedgework models find favour when it comes to lob wedges, where they are used more than the classic design models. When we last did this in-depth study 3 years back, Titleist wedges accounted for 44% of all the ones played by the top 100 PGA Tour pros. This percentage rose to 46% last year and now stands at 51%, so their dominance appears only to be growing as time passes. And over those years, all that has happened is that the most popular model has been an upgrade of the latest Vokey Design SM version, SM8 to SM9 to SM10 today. Titleist dominance isn't just about sponsorships also. Even players who aren't bound by contracts are choosing Vokey wedges. When we looked at the wedge choices of the equipment free agents in the PGA Tour, in other words those players who are not tied to any sponsorship contracts and have the flexibility to use whatever clubs they want, Titleist's hold on the crown of the most popular wedge appears even more definite. Because of the 15 free agents Golfing Focus analysed, including Adam Scott, Patrick Cantlay and Aaron Rai, only Justin Rose's use of the Cleveland RTX 6 Zipcore lob wedge broke Titleist's stranglehold in the 54 specialist wedges this subset of pros use. All the other free agents use a Vokey wedge across their specialist pitching, gap, sand and lob wedges, with the Vokey Design 10 model again being the most used among them. Jason Day admittedly has also been seen to be testing out a Cleveland RTX 6 Zipcore gap wedge, but at the moment he too is still currently going with a Titleist wedge. So while sponsorship undoubtedly plays a part in the equipment choices of the pros, the evidence seems clear that the majority of pros believe Titleist Vokey wedges to be better than the rest. While Vokey wedges dominate, other brands are still of course in play, with 8 other manufacturers represented among the wedges used by the top 100 PGA Tour pros. Callaway, Ping and Cleveland Strixon wedges make up the best of the rest, but other more niche wedge brands including 14 and Cobra have a small selection of PGA pros using them. Tailor-made stable players such as Rory McIlroy, Colin Morikawa and Tommy Fleetwood put their milled grind wedge models into play. It is again noticeable, however, that McIlroy and Fleetwood switched to Vokey Design wedgework models for their lob wedges. World number 1 and tailor-made stablemate Scotty Scheffler, however, chooses not to use any tailor-made specialist wedges and sticks with his trusty old Vokey Design SM8 gap and sand wedges and Vokey Design Wedgeworks BV Proto 7 lob wedge. Victor Hovland and Tony Finau meanwhile count themselves as Ping wedge users, where the S159 is their most popular wedge model, and indeed it accounts for 6% of all the wedges used by the top 100 PGA Tour pros. Shane Lowry's gap and sand wedge of choice, and Cleveland's most used model on tour, the RTX 6 Zipcore Tour Rack wedge, is the 4th most used overall by the top 100, making up 5% of all the wedges they play. Callaway's Jaws Raw wedges then sit 5th on the list of the most used wedges on the PGA Tour. Overall, we found 30 different specialist wedge models in total being used by this group across all the different wedge types: pitching, gap, sand and lob wedges, with a large number of the wedges being listed as prototypes, or even having a specific grind attributed to a particular player. It won't surprise many to know also, for example, that TaylorMade's mill grind 4 wedges are available with Tiger Woods' chosen grind. Every player is clearly different, and although different golfers may have the same model of wedge, and even if it is a Titleist Vokey, it is never one size fits all, as many of the pros have their own unique requirements when it comes to bounce, grind, loft and finish on that model. So that's it for this video, and if you enjoyed it, hit that like button and let us know in the comments whether you use Vokey wedges yourself or are in the minority preferring a different brand. And as always, and most importantly, we hope you're enjoying your golf.